Coming up, the most overrated rides at Walt Disney World. Welcome to the SeeWDW Near and Far podcast, where we explore perspectives of the Walt Disney World Resort from 10 to 1,000 miles away. I am Mike, the far in this equation.
And I'm John, the near.
All right, this week we are going to discuss, as I said earlier, the most overrated rides. We're going to go park to park on a list, and just in each park, just one ride, right, John? That's what we're looking at.
Yeah, I think that'll work.
All right, but first, how'd your week in the parks go, John?
Well, once again, I only went to one park this week. And let me see. I think it was the day before Thanksgiving. Tuesday, 2 days before Thanksgiving. So I thought it was funny, and that this seems to always happen. This is the parking lot at the Magic Kingdom. Here's a group of wild turkeys. And I always seem to see these turkeys, not just these turkeys, but groups of turkeys wandering around right around Thanksgiving. It happened to me even when I lived in Pennsylvania. I would have turkeys go right through my front yard, and I did not see them all year. It's just Thanksgiving they showed up. And now even in Florida, I don't see wild turkeys very often. 2 days before Thanksgiving, there's groups of them wandering around. So I thought that was interesting.
They knew exactly where to go to not end up on a dinner plate, I guess.
So I wanted to mention, too, the reason that we went to the Magic Kingdom was it was a party day. And I keep hearing that when there's a party, the lines are much lower during the day because people don't want to, book that as their reservation day because it closes at like 6 o'clock to regular guests. And you can see at 2 o'clock what it looked like. The front entry, it's fairly empty.
Yeah, it looks very, very empty for that time of day.
And then I wanted to mention too, there's obviously crowds. There's always going to be, but the Pirates of the Caribbean. Here's the wait time that it took me to do: 7 minutes and 53 seconds. That was the wait time for Pirates. And I was very surprised because every time I see this kind of thing, I think, oh, look, it says 10 minutes at Pirates. Well, the entire park sees it too. So it's a mass convergence on the ride as we get there. In this case, it said 10 minutes. We walked there and got on in 10 minutes. So that was really nice. And remember, I got there around 2. So after that, we started walking towards Splash Mountain, and it said 20-minute wait for Splash Mountain. And I was like, I never know how long, I have to ride that. And I'm like, yeah, we need to do that. And so we got in line for that. And we actually waited about 15 minutes. I stopped my timer when I was on the boat going up the hill. So, it was a couple minutes slow. So it was about 15-minute wait for Splash Mountain. And I really think that's a good piece of advice for anybody who goes during the busy holiday times. Definitely, especially if you have Park Hopper, but even if you don't, it's probably worthwhile just to make your Magic Kingdom the day, the one with the party, unless you really like to be there like late at night. But for me, I think that would be just great. But I wanted to say I didn't take advantage of it much more than that, and the reasoning is, um, as it got closer to 4 o'clock, the party guests can come in at 4 o'clock.
Right.
So the guests already there with all the party guests coming in, it suddenly gets very crowded. At just about 4 o'clock, the crowds really get thick. So, we just wanted to go to, uh, just to go do a couple of rides, and as far as I was concerned, by the time it was approaching 4, I was more than happy to leave. We got there, got to ride Pirates and Splash, and went through the gift shop a little bit, and that to me, I couldn't ask for anything more. So I decided to head out at that point. Here's a few items from the gift shop.
Yeah, my wife has something from that home collection. Has a couple things from that, so they're pretty neat.
Yeah, candy cane, Mickey backpack, and lots of interesting stuff. But honestly, not much that really got my attention. We did buy this home rug because
Yeah.
we needed another rug, because I actually have a door in my bedroom that goes out to the covered pool area. And we've been using that door a lot more with a new dog. And so we needed one inside our bedroom. And I was like, well, that my wife liked that one. So we ended up getting
So
that.
like 4 spaces previously, what is that thing? There was a picture, not 4 or 5 spots. Or is it right there? Right there. What is that? Oh, okay. That's from
That
Casey's. Okay.
Yeah, it's a
Right.
picture from Casey. So, and
Okay.
yeah, Casey seemed very empty. Like, look at that.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
this wasn't closed, but normally I would think that, usually that's don't you think that's a bit empty for a popular place? But again,
It definitely is.
I feel like, the crowds are coming in at 4 and they all want to hit the rides, and the people who are leaving aren't, they're just trying to get out of there and park hop or something before the other crowds come in. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna make a mental note of that and try to do Magic Kingdom on party days and just go early, because man, that worked great. So and then we saw the Festival of Fantasy Parade, and we didn't really stop to watch it or anything, but it was happening while we were in the area. And again, the crowds were such that I didn't have to do anything. I could just go out and, watch it and then go back in the store, and there's plenty of room. So again, I pre-party days are just I was very impressed with how it actually works. So, and I know I only went to one park, but part of the reason that I went to uh, the Magic Kingdom that day was because I wanted to stop and see the gingerbread house. But I did want to mention I did have plans to eat at the Whispering Canyon around
Yeah.
noon. I think we talked about that. Turns out I canceled that because I just did not feel good that day. Like, I woke
Mm.
up with a headache. I just felt nauseous. The last thing I wanted was a skillet full of Disney food when you don't
Yeah.
really feel good. I'm like, I just can't. So, and then I looked too. As far as I could tell, the Christmas tree was still not up, and I'm like, this is really just bad timing. I don't really want to eat that food. And it turns out the next day I saw all the bloggers and vloggers and Disney News, WDW, NT, whatever. They all had the Christmas trees up at the Wilderness Lodge, and they all had it on there. I would have timed that one perfect,
Yeah.
but not that I really care anyway. I personally am getting so bored of every single thing Disney does being like a news up. It's like, breaking news. They put up another Christmas
I
tree. It's like, we're all
totally
going up.
agree.
Oh, and again, that's why I didn't rush out to be first with the gingerbread house too. I was like, when I get to it, I'll get to it, and I feel like that with a lot of the stuff. But I'm just getting. I know how I feel, so I don't want to be that guy who's like, breaking. I'm the first one to get the gingerbread house. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't think people care anymore. But the gingerbread house, it smelled very good in there. You can see. I feel like this year they made it look more gingerbread. Like it looks less perfect than it has in years past, and I like that. Like I noticed that with the gingerbread carousel at the beach club too. Like it almost looked like a real cookie instead of like a perfect one, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of liking the look of it. There's my shot from right next to the floor.
Yeah, I like that.
So yeah, and the tree's about the same as it always is too. It's a nice Christmas tree, very big Christmas tree. But again, I feel like this stuff is every year it's breaking news, the Christmas tree and breaking news, and
Well, I think it's important to note that you're about, memories and experiences and things like that. And they're about news and all that kind of stuff. So,
yeah,
but you're right. If it's about news, it's the same every year. So it's not like, it's not like they're doing anything new, whereas you're reminding people of memories and things like that. So I think, for my money, I'd rather see your stuff than be annoyed by constant like news updates about something breaking that, has been breaking for every year for like 15, 20 years, right? So,
yeah.
you know.
So then I went to the Polynesian, and this is always one of my favorites. Like I love the it's not even a big one. It's actually a pretty small Christmas tree, but just look how pretty
Mhm.
that is. Like
It
the
is.
glowing yellow and the beautiful flowers and the carvings. And to me, this is this has to be one of my favorites. And again, it's very untraditional, but I just love the look of it.
It's not
Here
huge
you
and
can see.
overpowering either. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's not that big at all compared to many of them. It doesn't go past the next floor up, it's
Hmm.
literally, so it's not the biggest, but it may be one of the prettiest. So I always enjoy stopping to see that one. Oh, and I did want to mention too, I don't know how much you saw of this before, but I think this is the new Kona Cafe. It's
Oh my
not
gosh.
terrible. I mean, but yeah, that's what it looks like now. The Kona Cafe. So not as bad as I thought it was. From the pictures I saw before, it looked really not that great. But still, I feel like Disney redoes stuff, and the best they can do is equal. It's like equal or less, and I don't know if this is less or not, but at the very least, it's probably equal. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the only thing I will say is it looks a little brighter than what the old Kona Cafe looked at. Maybe that's part of it, but other than that, it doesn't really look all that different.
Well, like from this picture here, you can see like the ceiling is nice, but it, overall though, it looks kind of plain. Like this is like plain chairs,
Yeah,
plain
kind of
tables.
looks like diner chairs
Yeah,
almost.
that's what I think. Like a picture like this is the one that I saw before that I was like, wow, they opened up a new cafeteria at the Marriott. It's
That's
looks pretty nice for Marriott. It's like I guess I'm just used to Disney having something that really pops. Like, wow,
Yeah.
look at that! Only at Disney. It's like this is nice, but it's not only at Disney. I think anybody could do that. So yeah, and then they added this little structure out front of the door to give it
Yeah.
a little
It's
more.
more Polynesian, I guess, theming or whatever. I That looks all right. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's what I thought. Like it doesn't. That I don't hate that. But then when you look inside here, like that part here, like it just looks like this is like the McDonald's counter here, and this is it's like it doesn't look this looks like you're going up to order your quick service food. Like that's the guy you're gonna order from, right? And it's like, but it's
it
not.
kind of. I mean, it's a lot like you said. It's almost like if you the theming behind McDonald's is don't make the guests too comfortable. We don't want them to sit there very long. We want to get them in, get them out. And that's kind of what it reminds you of, which wouldn't surprise me. Let's theme the
Yeah, and
restaurant a
there's
little bit and then get them in, get them out.
and here you can see the tray from the second floor. See how short it is. Like they could
Yeah,
make this tree so big that it would go up another floor. But
I like it like
again,
that though. It's not overstated. I think that's great.
here's a gift for to leave for Santa, I guess, a plate and cup.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. That's cute.
A lot of times they have different gifts at the Polynesian. So I'm sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did look at some of them. Yeah, see Honolulu cookie stuff like that is pretty cool. Like you don't really this isn't stuff that you readily see anywhere else. So again, you can find some unique Christmas gifts at the Polynesian, and for like those people that you don't know what to buy for, it's like a cookie tin with Honolulu on it. Yeah, I went way too fast in this video. I can't even say this stuff. But Honolulu cookies and snacks, and
yeah, I think
I
that's cool.
definitely thought that was.
They often have, like you said, unique things in there. I like their gift shop a lot.
Yeah, that's about it for my trip to the parks for this week. I haven't been going as much because it was Thanksgiving a couple days ago, and I'm actually blocked out for a short time around Thanksgiving break. Um, I think I'm unblocked out starting tomorrow, so I'm going to Epcot tomorrow, and I'm going to see the new Spaceship Earth Christmas projection on the for Beacons of Magic,
Hmm.
and I'm gonna see the new Guardians. I hope I get it, but the new Guardians Christmas music they're gonna do, and Living with the Land, Merry and Bright, where they add the Christmas lights to Living with the Land. So I got
Right.
three things to do at Epcot tomorrow.
That's
Oh,
very
and
cool.
it's the festival of the holidays too, but
That's
unfortunately, that's my least favorite festival, but they might change my mind eventually. But so far, and it could be because I'm blocked out from it so much. It's a short festival, and then I'm going to be
hmm
blocked out from like the 17th to like January of the next year. So it's
no
like
kidding.
maybe that's why I don't like it. It's the blocked out festival, so I don't see it much anyway. But
What's interesting about that? And you said blocked down on the 17th. I wondered why the weekend before the 17th it is impossible to get a hotel down there,
mm,
and if you do get one, the price is astronomical. I mean, really crazy. Even the Disney Springs hotels are like $400 and $500 a night. So we were looking at the next weekend, at the weekend of the 17th, and because I haven't credit pass, I have no blockout dates because I'm out of state, but there's availability at a lot of the hotels, and it's regular. I would say maybe a little bit above regular price for a lot of the hotels, but not much. And there's availability. So that tells you how hard Florida pass holders hit the hotels, even. And, I think, I don't know what the equation is there, what it is, but definitely the prices go up and then they go right back down during those blockout dates. So that's really interesting how that works. Obviously, they're blocked out too, so they're not going to hotels.
Yeah, I guess that reduces the demand for certain people. So
Right, right. All right, John, on to our discussion for the week. Overrated rides at the Disney World Resort. We are going to start with Animal Kingdom. John, what's your overrated ride at Animal Kingdom?
well, this one is actually tough for me because there's not a lot of rides there. So, I'm going through it in my head and I'm like, overrated to me means there's a long line and it's more popular than it seems like it deserves. So, I'm going through it and there's like I said, there's not a lot at Animal Kingdom that I could possibly say that to. So this may not be the best example, but I'd have to say Navi River Journey because I like the ride, but anything more than like 20 to 30-minute wait, I just couldn't see waiting any longer than that. And, but again, it's beginning to be in that range already. So, but again, at Animal Kingdom, can you think of any other that you could say overrated? Because, I mean, I could say a lot about the rides there, but and again, Flight of Passage, always such a long ride, but I wouldn't say it's overrated though
I
because
wouldn't either. Yeah.
it's worth the wait. I've literally waited hours there when it was newer, and I never regretted it. So that to me would say it's not overrated, but sure is rated.
Out of every park, I would say this would definitely be the hardest because it's about the quantity of rides. If I would have to say overrated, I'd say the dinosaur ride, and not because I don't like it. I do like it. We like it as a family. We can all go on it. But it's because of over the years, it's become really rough, and some of the animatronics don't even work, and they don't really seem to be keeping up with the maintenance at this point like they should. So, if I had to say overrated, I would have to say that just because of those issues. If it wasn't as rough as because again I think it's gotten rougher and rougher over the years for some reason. Maybe it's because I'm getting older, I don't know. But it's gotten rough and the animatronics not working. So I would say dinosaur. And for those reasons, again, this isn't the rides, this is not about the rides we don't like. I'd say it's pretty safe that we like most of these rides, right?
Oh
But it's
yeah.
about what we consider as overrated. So what do you think of Dinosaur? I mean, it's rough for you too, right?
Well, it's always been one of my favorites, so I
Yeah.
didn't I didn't really consider it. But again, I like Dinosaur, but because of the lack of maintenance, I guess you could say it's overrated because the experience is not what it used to be,
Right.
and it should be.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally agree. All right. Well, off to a fast start. Let's go to Hollywood Studios. John, what's overrated for Hollywood Studios?
This is a tough one, but it's tough because I think the whole park is overrated. But I'll give you one guess as to.
But explain why it's overrated,
Well,
right?
I feel like ride is overrated. Like I said, because the wait time is just so extreme
Yeah.
that it's overrated is time versus value, I guess. And again, I like this ride. I think it's great, but the extreme lines on it and stuff are they're just a lot for me to deal with. Although honestly, if you're talking about favorites and not favorites, and mine would eventually default to um, runaway railway just because I lost interest after, riding it maybe like 10 times. I no longer care about it that much. Like, but again, I just wanted to long term. I feel like Rise of the Resistance. It's yeah, those lines just don't stop, and it is a great ride. But again, if I have to pick one, I'm gonna
Yeah.
pick the big one. So
So, and that's perfectly valid. Like the time spent, can get up to over half of a day in the park if you really want to wait in a regular line. So I totally get that. And if you want
oh
to get on there efficiently, you're going to have to pay for access.
oh,
So
and this like Dinosaur, this ride rarely runs properly
that's
anymore.
very
I've seen
true.
entire videos showing how most of the rides in B mode, a lot of
Yeah.
the times it breaks down all the time. It's just the cannons no longer move. Like in that one room, they used to go back and forth, and you kind of go
Yeah.
through them, and they just turned all that kind of stuff off. So it's like it's not what
I,
it used to be, but the
I,
line is still what it used to be.
I've probably ridden that ride 6 or 7 times, and I would say out of all those times, and again, most of that was early on in the life of the ride. The last 2 times, the screens in that cannon scene weren't working right. They were kind of B modish, and then the other time the cannons weren't working, like you said. Everything else has always been working, but those are the two things that I've noticed that are the weak points, I guess I would say. For my overrated ride, it would be Alien Swirling Saucers. I
Hmm.
never understood the wait time for that off the shelf ride. you
That's
know,
true.
it's actually most of the time one side is only working. Sometimes even the side that's working has an empty um, ride vehicle or two, and it's slow loading, and it's fun. I'm not saying it's not fun, especially for kids. It has the alien noises and the songs, the music, and all that stuff. But it's like an off the shelf ride that they might have bought at IAPA some year and like thought, oh, we can theme this with the aliens from Toy Story. I just the ride queue is marginally interesting, and I say marginally because it has like a couple touch points, but for the most part, it just reminds you of a carnival ride, and you have to wait so long to get on that thing. So that's mine at Hollywood Studios. I just ride it very rarely, and I've never understood the queue for that ride. I don't understand why people wait for an hour for that ride. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty disappointing wait. So
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But yeah, that's a good one, John. What you came up with is Rise, and for the very reasons you mentioned, I completely understand that. You're probably not the only one that feels that way, particularly traditional Disney fans for sure feel that way. So, all right. So, Epcot is our next one. What do you think, John? What's overrated at Epcot?
well, Epcot, I would.
Yeah.
Epcot is not a difficult one for me, and again, I don't know if there's anything that I could find on it, but basically, Test Track is mine for Epcot, and the reason is the line is so darn long, and it really is. It's not a bad ride, but again, I just don't know why the line is that long. Just to you're basically driving in a semi fake car just around, and again, I don't hate it, but if I wait for any more than like 10 minutes, I consider it a bad usage of my time. So
Yeah. I think, and I was back and forth between that and uh, like the Journey to Imagination, just because of how long Journey of Imagination. I mean, it's not a great ride, but and needs an update. But with that said, right, um, it's long. It doesn't have long lines, so I was with Test Track as well. I think Test Track, short of going on the single rider, you're going to be waiting in a line pretty much any point in time during the day. And again, I really like the ride. I do a lot. My wife and I, we can ride it together. It's one of the faster, more extreme-ish rides that we can ride together without her getting sick. So I really I like the ride. I just don't like the lines, and I don't think it's worth the lines. There's been many times that we've skipped that ride on our trip to Epcot just because of that. And also the maintenance issues, John. That's the
Mhm.
big thing with that ride in my mind. There's constant breakdowns and resets and all kinds of things like that. Like I've literally been in that line, and I think most people that go to the parks a lot have been in that line during right when it breaks down. So
Yeah.
as often as it happens, I don't know how you couldn't if you visit the parks
My most
often.
recent trip on there, I was the next person to get on, and it just broke, and I had ended up standing there an additional like 10 minutes waiting. So that's how not I rarely ride it, and yeah, even I can see the breakdowns.
Yeah, I mean, my honorable mention for this also would be Mission Space. I mean,
Well,
that's kind of, but people
but my
don't
thing
ride
is
that.
though, is it rated? Because overrated, I think most people just walk right past it and
That's
go,
that's
"Nah." So it's not
exactly.
really rated at all. Now
That's why I didn't go there.
test track, they say let's get in line and wait an hour, and it's like, oh, I
Yeah.
don't know about that one.
Well,
I
that's
don't.
why I didn't go to Mission Space because again, most people just kind of maybe they might take a picture out front, but there's not a lot of people that ride Mission Space nowadays. So,
Yeah,
um,
it's not rated at all. So,
yeah, right. All right, Magic Kingdom, John. What is the most overrated ride in Magic Kingdom? I have a
well,
controversial one for this, by the way, so a lot of people might get mad at me, but go
uh,
for it.
I it's Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is mine, and I never cared much for this ride, and I don't know exactly why. It just never really does anything. Hey, when I searched the hashtag, my video came up at the right at the top of the page. So
That's
Instagram might
awesome.
like me again. It's a good.
Well, and the other part of it is you've got a really great front row seat to that, so there's not a lot of
But
people
again, I
that
don't
have that.
hate this ride or anything. I think it's nice, but the wait times and the extreme popularity of it, I don't like it that much. I feel like the cars are small and cramped. I feel like the ride is short and not the coaster part is not exciting at all. So it's great for very little kids.
Hmm.
But as a middle-aged guy, I don't feel the urge to wait in that line and to see it. And again, I like it. If I can get on it at a reasonable time, I will. But I don't really like to pay for it, and I don't really like to wait hours for it. So it's for me, it's an opportunity thing. Like I went on it with you that one time,
Yeah,
and I was happy that I got to do it. But you had a pass to get on it, and we didn't have to wait. So I was like, that's awesome. I liked it. So again, this isn't rides we don't like. This
right,
is rides that are weirdly popular, more so than they may deserve. So, although my
right,
video is
exactly.
so good, it makes you want to ride it.
There you
Contradiction,
go. Yeah.
my talent, just kidding. It's making me want to ride it. Look how cool that video is.
Yeah, it does look cool though. I do love watching these kinds of videos around turns and stuff. And there's a lot of them on that particular ride. So Yeah, I like that ride. I agree. I'm not going to wait for hours in line to ride it. So I totally get that. But again, this is another ride where my wife and I can get on together without her getting sick. So she really likes that ride a lot. So if you know the right times to get on that thing, you could get like a smaller line. But I'm not going to spoil that one. So I don't want people learning and when that is, and then you know
It's in 2019. That's don't tell me. You got to go back now.
you gotta go back. Well, hey, I mean, we've gone back with CEOs, so why not? I mean, you
This
could
time
do
to
that.
visit.
We've
Yeah.
Disney's proven that they can go back, right? They can visit the past again by
Well,
hiring,
my whole problem with that is, and I didn't want to jump on the bandwagon and go into that whole thing like everyone else is, but
yeah.
unfortunately, Bob Iger was the architect of the problems. He created the idea for most of the things that people hate right now. And Chapek was the opportunist who said, now's the time we can actually do it. Now's the time. Things are down. We can do it now.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm hoping that things do get a little bit better because obviously Chapek had a very weird mindset, but I
Yeah.
honestly don't really think it will because the difference between the two is handsome, full head of hair and not handsome and bald guy. Now, the guy with the full head of hair he wanted to be a politician and he's very
Mhm.
good at speaking in a political manner. So what that means is he's going to tell the movie fans, I'm on your side. I'm helping you. He's going to tell the park people, "Oh yeah, I agree. We're going to help you." And then he's going to continue to do whatever he wants and not care.
Yeah.
Just like your local politician will do when they say, vote for me. I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to help you. They
Yeah.
don't actually do it. And neither, I don't think Bob Iger will either. He literally is a politician. He wanted to run for president at one point, but I guess the people decided that he wouldn't be a good fit or something. But he's literally a politician. So when you say the parks are too expensive, he's going to say, "Oh yeah, they are. Oh yeah, I agree." But he's not really going to change it much in any significant way. And he's going to tell everybody what they want to hear to varying degrees because politician. Although, did you hear? I heard a rumor that they only brought him back because they want to sell it to Apple. They
Yeah,
want to
I've been
sell
hearing
Disney
that
to
for a
Apple.
while. I've been hearing
And
that for
I've
a
heard that
while.
years ago.
Yeah.
It would be
We'll
a good
see.
fit, and Apple has billions just sitting in a pile with nothing to do. They're the most valuable company in the world, but they're absolutely just useless kind of company. It's like we do nothing but just make the same product and accumulate money. It's like they don't really do anything. They don't take any risks. They don't buy. They don't do much of anything. So I
They don't innovate
can't
anymore.
say
They used to innovate. I mean, now they
they
just
just do what's safe.
basically catch up to everyone else's ideas, and I mean, so I don't
But
know. They got a
anyway,
ton of
Bob
money,
Iger,
so
Iger's gonna fix Bob Iger's going to fix everything.
yeah, we'll
It'll be
see.
the parks will be just like they were. But again, he might do something. He's got to. I
I
think he's going to do a little bit for everybody because I think they said he's going to take the reservation system away, kind of, but he's going to keep it for the pass holders. It's like, oh well,
yeah.
there you go. It's like so,
S
kind of,
I
sort of,
mean,
maybe, but
I
not
would
really. But
say
kind of. It's like,
a lot of these building projects and stuff that have gone on the last couple of years, he initiated a lot of that stuff. So I mean, if he
mhm.
invests back in the parks like he did in the past, I mean, we'll see if they're going to make it attractive for Apple to buy. There's not going to be a lot of investment because
Well,
when they do things like that, it's even less.
but
So
just
they
think though,
devalue.
Bob Iger's very good at networking, and like I said, he's a political kind of guy, talking and
Yeah,
stuff. He would be the perfect guy to negotiate the sale,
yeah,
to
that's
prepare and
true.
negotiate. Apple I think Steve Jobs was on the board of Disney and stuff. Like he was one of the biggest shareholders, and there's like always been a connection there where
Yeah.
this really could happen. And again, as far as I'm concerned, I think it's I'm not a big fan of Apple as a company. I'm not a big fan as a company, but I don't know. I'm willing to see any change at this point, just something different because the current people weren't doing good. And to bring back, do you really think Bob Chapek is the one who caused all the current problems in that like 2 years he was there? Like he caused this many problems. I'm like, it takes a lot longer than that. So I just
I
think
think if
Iger
you have,
ducked out at just the right time.
yeah, me too. He didn't want to tarnish his legacy over the virus stuff, but I think the
Yeah.
typical mentality towards Chapek, and I'm not a fan of Chapek. Don't get me wrong. I think he has a personality of a piece of drywall, and I don't think he was fit to be CEO because of that. And with the CEO, you have to have a wide range of qualities, and I think he was missing a few. That's not to say that he was a bad guy and or that he's responsible for all that. I think if you have a mentality of an 8-year-old, then yeah, okay, he's responsible for everything. He's the devil. I mean, but that's a very shallow, narrow view. He wasn't responsible for all that stuff. I mean, why does Josh Tomorrow always get a pass? I mean, that guy got promoted in all this mess.
I've heard,
He's responsible for some of this stuff too,
I've
you know?
I've seen posts saying that he should be fired as well. So
I think he
people are
should
starting to
be.
call him out a little bit.
But I mean, with that said, I don't think there's an easy answer to the whole thing. If I'm not saying that Iger in his 2 years here is going to, you know, maybe he'll roll back some of this stuff, and I think it's time that some of this
Yeah,
stuff does
he
get rolled
won't be
back.
any worse than he won't be any worse than JPEG, so
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
that's what I agree.
But my personal favorite would have been I always thought that they should bring back that Tom Staggs guy. He was there for like 30 years. He was the natural progression. He actually loved the company. He liked the creative stuff. Like he was more of a, he wasn't a household name, but he was
Right.
supposed to eventually be the CEO. And I think he left at some point because they didn't want him to be. And based on the direction they've been going for a while, I would have said bring somebody like that in, not the same guy who was there 2 years ago. A lot of the stuff you're having problems with were set in motion by him. So I mean,
Hmm.
and I heard they were actually talking to Tom Staggs too. Like the board reached out to him and was in discussions with him. But to bring back Iger though, again, I'm sure it's a little better, but I wouldn't buy Disney stock right now. I can tell you that.
No, I probably would have bought it low and right before this happened and sold high when everyone thought this was a good thing. You know what I mean? It's going to be a while to see what happens. But well, let me get to my overrated Magic Kingdom attraction, and that would be the People Mover. I've never understood the fascination with the People Mover. I like it. I don't hate it. I know why social media creators such as yourself, like to go on the People Mover. Um, but to me, it's a social media creation. Before social media times, the People Mover really didn't have long lines. Nobody really cared about it. It was almost a stagnant ride. But once social media creators, content creators went on it, it's like you get lines for this attraction now. And and right there's why. Did you see that? Did you see some of the other people on that hashtag? I mean, they're all content creators taking like beauty selfies and like holding up ice cream or something or whatever the heck. What is that? Someone has a pack of hot dogs they're holding up. I don't
Corn.
understand that. Corn. Okay, there it is. Corn and hot dogs. I mean,
If you
I
look
don't.
at,
What's
here's the
that?
top among the top six. You have that's mine, and this is mine too. So anyway, this is why I like it. Look at that view. You can't overrate that view. Look at that.
It's an overrated ride in my opinion, as far as the. I and
Yeah.
again, I don't hate it. I don't dislike it even. I
This
always
podcast
go
is
on it.
over.
See, it's a social media creation. I don't. Again, it wasn't like. I mean, I think social media creators should start going to the Hall of Presidents and seeing how much that'll take off. Then, because they're going to the Hall of Presidents, and people start,
I
oh, the Hall of
I've been
Presidents.
riding I've been riding the TTA for years and years and years. So ever since I've been going, I loved it. So, and I liked it too. Like I remember going on on it with my nephew while everyone else went on uh, Space Mountain and things like that. But again, like you said, there was no line there though. So
There
maybe you're
never
right,
was. Mm,
overrated because it's all. But it, or maybe people just discovered how nice it is, or maybe the other rides got so not as
crowded,
good
right?
that just to go back to a classic ride, people love it. Like just the feel of something that's not new and based on a movie that no one cares about, you know?
Right. I don't mind the social media posts. I really don't. It is a very it makes for some great views and all that. I don't really dislike any ride whatsoever at Magic Kingdom. I mean, if we want to talk about sections of the park, we can talk about that. Having not such a favorable view of, but as far as like rides themselves, I find enjoyment on each and every ride. It's just this one I've always thought, well, at least since the big social media era with the content creators and all that. I mean, again, like you said, there was never a line. You just hopped on that conveyor belt, went up onto the thing, and got on it. No problem at all. But since it's become a favorite of social media content creators and doing the updates for the Tron coaster and all that type of thing, it is difficult to get on
Yeah,
at times. But
I tend to wait like 20 minutes plus for it almost every time. And it is
yeah,
amazing that it takes that long. But
yeah. But that's mine. I know a lot of people love it, and that's fine. I don't hate it. I don't dislike it. I like going on it.
an
But
honorable mention, Hollywood Studios overrated entire park. So that's if we had to pick one park that the whole darn thing is overrated.
I
Why is
would.
Hollywood Studios is so packed all the time and so popular? And every time I go there, I'm like, there's a couple good rides, but I'm like, after that, I'm like, I don't even want to be here. I'm
I
ready to get
agree. That I mean, honestly, that used to be you could get done with that park about halfway through the day, and I think Toy Story Land and Star Wars Land has kind of ruined that whole thing. Um, but I agree. It's like people flood into that park, and I don't know if it's good marketing on their part or what it is, but yeah, uh, I don't think there's anything that special about that park. I mean, the traditional rides are great, but you
Yeah,
know,
now Phantasmic. Let's wait for
oh,
3
jeez,
hours.
don't.
It's like, and
Uh,
that's your favorite, but I
it
say
is.
extremely overrated favorite.
But I mean, don't get me started on that. I went on that rant last week. Man, 2 hours waiting in line for Phantasmic. I mean, I love it, but it's a big amphitheater, folks. You're gonna fit in there. I mean, and if you're not, do you really want to be crowded in like that? And
I do
uh
need to go see that soon, but I
yeah,
haven't yet.
yeah. All right, so John, that was our overrated attractions, and we even got a CEO thing in there. So, how did your social media go for the week?
It's been fairly consistent. I'm coming up on the end of a bonus period, so I'm slowing down a little bit. But my my let's see which one I'm on here. My SeeWDW had a 1.3 million accounts reached in 30 days, which
Hmm.
isn't bad. That's
Yeah.
uh, pretty good amount. I just wanted to. I had this thing set up, and somehow it switches back for both. Um, and I like to tell people just so they know how wealthy I am from doing this. My bonus is $411 and 46
Wow.
cents so far this month, which is actually pretty high. It's higher than than things like that are a lot. So I am not saying that is a bad thing, but I just like to let people know, I definitely am still working. And I wanted to say too, my Universal account is I'm making a little bit more money on that one. Let me see. I've reached 3.6 million accounts in the last 30 days on that. Um, I am up to $485 in bonuses on that. So
Hmm.
again, you add those two together, and that's significant. Like I don't discount that at all. But one thing I wanted to, yeah, it turns out I can't have both of my things open anymore. It changes in both browsers now. But anyway, I wanted to point out C.UO and SeeWDW, they both are at 107,000 accounts.
Hmm.
So for the first time ever, I am at the same number for each one. Sorry, there's the dogs again. So I'm at 107,972 for the Disney account and 107,915 for the Universal. I'm less than 100 different
Yeah.
out of 107,000. That's statistically they're even now. Like
Yeah.
that's as close as you're going to get. I have a feeling Universal may overtake it
It's
shortly.
absolutely. I told you a couple months ago that that looked like that was going to happen, the way your growth was. So
So
it's definitely going to happen. There's no doubt about it.
yeah, so I'm making. Although the weird thing is, right now I am getting more views per video on my Disney account,
Hmm.
but it could be because I save the good stuff for the beginning of the bonus, and I get into lesser things at the end, or it goes up and down. Trying to apply logic doesn't always work very well.
Yeah,
But
that's very
anyway,
true.
107 each. That's pretty cool. I like that. And soon to be 108 each. I'm close to 108 for both. So I'm pretty happy with that. My TikTok, that slowed down again. I'm at 75,900 followers on TikTok. Overall, I'm doing pretty good. You can see here the Morocco Pavilion video did not do well. That didn't
Hmm.
break 1,000. Um, Polynesian 2,800. Some old marathon footage got 5,400, and we got 40,000 and 12,000. I was gonna say this video here on my Instagram got flagged for something about foreign languages, and I couldn't be monetized, and I had to I don't know. It basically got pushed down. Look, it won't let me look at it on here too.
Hmm.
I think algorithms think this is some kind of I don't know what. They don't like
Like
stormtroopers.
Nazi, is they think it's a
I
Nazi
don't
thing
know.
or
Yeah,
something.
people marching. It's like, oh, violence. I don't know, but they won't even let me see it on here. And let me see. Let me see if I can see it on here.
It's like the bots are taking over, man.
Yeah, that gets to be a problem. I can't. I hear so many bad things from people who do more normal things. Like I cover Walt Disney World and Universal, and they're even stopping my posts. They're like, this must be stopped. This isn't right. It's like it's a freaking stormtroopers. It's like the algorithm thinks it's some kind of violence, but yeah, literally stuff like this. I used to get huge numbers on. Like people love the March of the First Order. Everybody loved it. Well, I'm not getting huge numbers anymore. I got 1,200 likes, which is below average for me because it was pushed down because it was flagged. And again, they won't let me show any. They don't show insights on here. I don't know why they only show it on your phone, but yeah, this is a bad video. Matter of fact, it could YouTube is probably looking at it right now, the algorithm saying this can't be seen. It's marching stormtroopers. That's bad. That's not a good thing. Anyway, like I said, it used to be good. Now it's not. The Disney pilot shared one again with me. 26,000 likes. This is the fireworks from his airplane. And again, that is such a cool video. And
It is cool. I
whenever
watched
he
that one.
sends something for a collaboration, I don't even think to question. He has been sending me all his videos, and all I can say is thanks because it makes me look good too, and hopefully increases his reach and whatever. But I'm grateful for that one. And again, that's pure dumb luck. I asked him one day, I'm like, if you ever want to, I'd be happy to collaborate, help get you out there more. And now he sends me everything. So it's like, well, I never would have asked such a thing, but good for me though.
Yeah, man, I love that video. I watched that on your page, and it's really, really cool, man. Really cool.
And I just wanted to mention too, I'm still doing every Friday, I still do a 90-second video, which most Instagram coaches would tell you don't do a 90-second video, 7 to 15, this and that. Like, here's my 90 seconds walking in the Space Mountain queue. It's almost 3,000 likes, and that's from yesterday. So if you have the right footage, 90 seconds is fine for Disney fans. And again, this may not be going viral. It's not going out to get me new stuff, but I get an awful lot of views from that. Oh, and if anyone
you've got
has
good engagement too. Good engagement. Your comments, 40 some comments. That's pretty good.
But also, if you have any footage of the dream lights, this is the season to put them up because people love that stuff. This was a couple of days ago, 3,200 likes for the dream lights. Like people just love the dream lights. So, but anyway, I just wanted to mention that. And here is one where I took footage that I already posted, cut it, zoomed in a little bit, and made another video for Tron. And again, 4,000 likes, same footage, but I got lucky to see that. I'm not seeing much footage like that. So I was like, instead of just posting it once and throwing it away, I edited the video by zooming in a little bit and then just added a bunch of shots together. So just some ideas on how to repurpose footage. And here's our dinner when we were there. You still see this coming up. I've used pictures and video from it countless times, and I will continue to. That one dinner we had, that's indefinite footage for me because I can use it by itself. I can use pictures, I can use video, I can combine it with part of the ride and just walk, you know what I mean? So
sure.
Forever video there because look how nice that is. So again, thank you for that dinner. That was
no problem. It was a lot of fun.
Still paying though. And you paid for the dinner. How ironic. You paid for the dinner. I'm still using it. So
it was my pleasure. It was a lot of fun.
Next time I owe you a dinner. But nowhere too expensive.
So you're saying you're saying not at the Kona McDonald's, not at the Polynesian McDonald's, right? So
No, not there. But
All
yeah,
right,
that
John.
I was gonna
What's
say
that?
this one good too.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one. When you posted
Well,
that,
you
I
think
think
you
you
did,
posted
but
that.
again, this is the same pieces that I reuse a lot. Like I've
Hmm.
used that fireworks one countless times too. But again, you know,
Man, that's awesome.
reuse footage is a good thing. You have something good, reuse it. But
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
did want to mention too, um, on YouTube. I don't have it pulled up, but I was looking at my shorts numbers. It's got like 10 views, 20 views, 5,000 views, 1,400 views, and
Yeah.
then back to 10 views, 20 views, 8 views, 500. It's like, it is so random, the hit and miss of that. Like, you just don't know. Like, I basically just scheduled one of them since the scheduling works well with that to put one up. And at this point, I have no consistency, no rhyme or reason. So I'm just throwing things up and hoping for the best.
Yeah, it's really difficult to put your finger on what works and what doesn't work there. I'm not really sure what it is. I mean, I think you're doing the smart thing by continuing to throw those shorts up and do all that because you're just, you are using your footage that you've already created videos with, and that's smart. But I mean, I don't know what at this point, like the whatever they're using, I don't know what they're using for
Well,
engagement and views, but
supposedly in February, they're going to start paying people money for it too. So maybe that'll change then.
yeah.
But, in the meantime, I'll just try to get myself in there. But what I noticed about them too, I've never had shorts grow any, like after a day or two, I never see any more growth for them, meaning they
Mm,
don't seem to last long, which is not like YouTube. Normally, YouTube, you could have a video that's a year old and all of a sudden it gets a bunch of hits. You just never
yeah,
know. But
for
with the
sure.
shorts, they don't seem to be, they seem, whether they're successful or not, they're up and then they're gone. And I never
Hmm.
see anything about them again. So we'll see. Maybe at some point they'll adjust that, and I'll have like 1,000 videos in there that mine will begin to be played. And unlike Instagram, it doesn't matter when they're played. You know,
Hmm.
the bonus isn't a bonus. It's a profit sharing program that doesn't stop. So it
Hmm.
won't matter. So maybe a couple years from now, I will all of a sudden make a lot of money out of all my timeless Disney clips that are all over YouTube.
Well,
Or maybe not, but all you can do is try, right?
well, it doesn't hurt to keep them up there. I mean, that's the thing. You never know when someone's going to get directed to it, and then you get an avalanche on a video. But I mean, you have an extensive library there that is monetized at this point, and it's you've got good content, so you know it's what counts. All right, John, where can they find you online?
You can find me at SeeWDW on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, SeeWDW on YouTube, and C.UO on Instagram and TikTok. Or no, CUO on Instagram and uh, Facebook. And I wanted to mention too, there's pretty much nothing there, but I think it's C.WDW on Twitter too.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
Twitter has been more interesting since Elon Musk took it over. And again, those stormtroopers probably would have got me banned for life by the algorithm on there. They would have said, "Get rid of this guy. He's
maybe
obviously a problem." It's a stormtrooper.
the old one. I don't know.
Yeah, because if Facebook doesn't like it, uh, Twitter would have really went at it. So
Yeah.
again,
I,
it's a little more user friendly now. So
Yeah, I will say keep your eye on that too because there's some rumors that they're going to allow short form video across that
yep,
as a social media. So
yep, and that is another reason I need to start building my audience there because
Mm-hmm.
they want to compete with Facebook, TikTok, even YouTube.
Yeah.
And again, I would rather be a part of that than not because, as far as companies go, I'm not a huge fan of YouTube or Meta or anything else. So
Yeah.
I like to be involved in possible growth in the future. So we'll see.
Right. All right. So you can find me at the Giant Rat, THEE Giant Rat on Instagram and on TikTok. And that should do it for this week. We will see you on the next one.